Hey everyone, Kashira here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, as you can tell from the title of this video, I moved. I moved. So, in this video, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to give you an empty apartment tour, and I'm going to talk you through the move. Why I did it, how it went, if I regretted, all of the things. So if you are interested in that, one, stay tuned, subscribe, like the video, but two, check the description box for timestamps. So if you only care about the empty apartment tour, you can see that. If you only care about the story time, you can see that. And if you care about both, then just chill out. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's just go back. Couple of months ago, I posted this video, the Becoming That Girl video, where I talked you through just some of the changes I've been making in my life, behind the scenes, in my business, all of those things. And the very last thing I said in that video, if you watched the whole thing, was that I was planning to relocate, but I wasn't sure when and I wasn't sure where. Here we are. I don't even think it was a couple months ago. It might have been 2 months ago. But here we are. So if you don't know, I previously lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have since moved to Dallas, Texas, which is about 1,300 miles away, something along that. I lived in Pittsburgh for about 8 years. That's not where I'm from originally. I'm from Chicago originally. So I've lived in Chicago up until college. For college, I lived in Virginia, and then I lived in Pittsburgh. I moved there for my first job, long story. So with that being said, I want to just talk you through basically the decision-making process, why I only had 30 days to move and all of those things. But first, let's get into this apartment tour because it's not that long. So let's do that. So after 2 hours of me trying to recover the footage, I cannot get the video to work. So here's the slowed down version of the TikTok I posted that shows the apartment. Don't worry, you will get the fully furnished apartment tour to really get the vibe, but it's a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. I love how spacious the bathrooms are and how much cabinet space I have. There are 2 walk-in closets that you have to go through the bathrooms to get to. Hardwood floors in the living room and kitchen. The bedrooms are carpeted. I didn't show the balcony here, but there is a balcony that is decorated as well. In-unit washer and dryer, stainless steel appliances. One of the bathrooms has a deep tub with a shower, and the other bathroom is the standing shower. Very high ceilings and a ton of storage space, so I am in love. Welcome back from the apartment tour. Sorry it was so short. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say in an empty apartment tour video that would make it long, but you get the gist of the place. As of now, I've been here, as of the time that I'm filming this, I've been here for 2 weeks, and it doesn't feel like it. Feels like 3 days. I've been here for 2 weeks, and the apartment is furnished. So I do have all of my furniture, all of my large furniture. The only thing is that it's not decorated. Like, it's furnished, but it's not decorated. So I don't have like wall art up or anything like that. I just have my plants and a couple of little figurines here and there. And I'm kind of taking my time with the decorating process, mainly because I haven't really seen anything in stores that I'm in love with. And I don't want to just buy stuff just to buy it and then end up replacing it in a couple months. So I'm slowly but surely decorating. But like I said, I have a couple of little like figurines and centerpieces and mirrors and things like that. So it is furnished. So with that being said, if you are interested in a furnished but not decorated apartment tour, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I'm gonna wait until it's fully decorated to give you that video, but I'm open to whatever you guys want. So let's chat. So all summer long, well, all year long, I've been having this urge to change, but I didn't know what it meant. You know, you just keep getting these hits that like you need something new, it's time for you to do something different, but you don't really know what that means because that could apply to so many different areas in life. So I've been feeling that all year. This summer, it kept coming up in like life coaching sessions, and also when I would get like my moon reading sessions, like this concept of just needing more space. And initially I thought, you know, I and the people I was working with, my life coach, things like that, we thought it just meant like, okay, I need to make room for new things to come through. So I need to like purge things, etc. So I did that. but I still kept getting this feeling. And then, you know, it came up, well, you know, are you moving? During one of my moon readings, the lady was like, you know, if you're moving, like, however you decorate the place is going to be really great. And I was like, I don't plan on moving. And the thing is, living in Pittsburgh, one, I definitely thought about getting a new apartment there, but the rental market wasn't that great. There wasn't a bunch of options. And if you hear noise in the background, that's my wind chimes like hitting against the patio window or the balcony window. So like the rental market wasn't that great. There wasn't that many options at all for like nicer, like what I would want. And the few places that I did see that I would be interested in based on the area, they were smaller than what I had but wanted more money. And I didn't want less space, I wanted more space. So it just wasn't working out. And I knew that I wanted to leave the city, but I kept thinking this would be like a December thing or next year thing. My lease wasn't even up until next summer. But you have to renew your lease like 6 months in advance where I was living. So anyway, okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. So what I was saying was basically where I was living, you have to renew your lease like 5 to 6 months out, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I kept thinking this was going to be a later thing. However, I had already been like kind of mentally setting myself up for the move. I was like gradually stopping like buying new things in terms of like big stuff for the house. And I had already resigned from my consulting contract that kept me in the city because it was a local contract. So I was kind of setting it up. But honestly, like late July, I was just contemplating this idea of relocating, and I just kept hearing like in my intuition, like, why wait? Like, stop being scared. Let's just do it. So I started to take my research seriously, and I said, I'm going to actively research this. If I can come to a decision, I will move in September. If it becomes a struggle, I will then just stick to December. And that was just my plan. And I figured at least starting the process and taking it seriously would help make me feel better. Because I was starting to feel at this point in July, I was starting to feel claustrophobic, like not literally like, oh, I can't breathe here where I live, but I just felt closed in. I felt myself easily getting annoyed with the city and just like not having things to do and my social circle changing, and not like Pittsburgh is a nice place, and Pittsburgh did everything it needed to do for me. Like, I have no regrets. I have won so many awards in that city. I served on a lot of boards in that city. That city is where I birthed my business and saw great success. It shaped my 20s. So there's nothing wrong with the city, but it's a small city. And as someone from a big city, like I was just craving more. Like it's like little things, like even here where I am, like the fact that there are 3 or 4 Trader Joe's within 20 minutes of me, where there was literally like one in 20 minutes of me. And if you didn't like that one, you had to go on a 40-minute drive. And having a ton of shopping options, having a lot of going out options, just like it being normal to see people of color all around you. Pittsburgh is a very whitewashed place, and it's black and white, primarily white, whereas here there's diversity. Even like where I'm living, it's like you can tell people are about their business here, and it's not just white people. It's black people, Indian people, Chinese people, Asian people. Like Chinese and Asian like are in the same whatever, but like y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? Like it's diversity, and it's just like whatever. So I was getting fed up, and then it was like little things happening, like stuff happening in my apartment. There always being leaks and stuff going on, which was never the case before. And my office space, I got new neighbors who were just so loud and inconsiderate to the point where you felt like you was in the room with them. And it was just like, okay, why is all of this stuff happening, you know? So anyway, I started my research. So how did I start my research? Because people have already been hitting me up like, I want to relocate. Do you have some tips? Personally, I just like started my research in 2 places, Google and YouTube. So most people who want to relocate already know where they want to go. I didn't know where I wanted to go at all. I'm like, I didn't want to go back home. I didn't want to go back to Chicago. And I didn't really know. At first I was thinking like, okay, maybe I'll look at Florida because I love vacationing in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. But I have a friend that lives down there, shout out to Jenna, and we had dinner last time I was there, and she was telling me about her experience living there, and while she liked it, she had some you know, some concerns. So she shared those with me. And then I went on YouTube and watched vlogs of people, Black women who moved to Florida. Because the other thing too is that the experience of somebody moving somewhere versus somebody who's a native somewhere is two totally different experiences. So I wanted to know, for somebody that was a transplant that up and moved here as a Black woman, what was their experience? And the vlogs, from the women who had a good experience to those who didn't, the negatives and the cons they listed were the same. They were things that really mattered to me, so I decided against it. So now I'm at a blank slate. So I just know I want a big city like that. I'm a big city girl. I like big cities. I like being able to explore. I like feeling like if I get sick of being at home, I can go to a hotel an hour away and feel like I'm gone. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm looking at the top 10 largest cities in this country, and I'm narrowing my list from there. So I looked at the top 10, and immediately New York was a no, immediately Chicago is a no, immediately LA is a no. These are places that I don't mind traveling, but living there, I don't know. I won't say Chicago is a no forever, because I wouldn't mind living downtown Chicago, but I chatted with one of my friends who used to live downtown, and she now lives in Atlanta. Shout out to Jasmine. And she was just talking about the entrepreneurial scene there, and I really do want like entrepreneur friends. And not saying that Chicago doesn't have entrepreneurs, because y'all are there, but it's just different. So anyway, I don't want to go down that path. So that was a no. And then basically I just narrowed my choices down to, the other thing was that I didn't want to live somewhere in the north. I was tired of the snow in the winter. Granted, Texas still gets winter, but nowhere near Chicago, right? So my choices were Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston. So I researched all of these. I watched vlogs. So this is where I went to YouTube. I watched vlogs of women who lived in Atlanta, moved to Atlanta, same for Houston, same for Dallas. And Atlanta just kind of canceled itself out. I have a ton of friends in Atlanta, but I never really enjoyed myself there. Like, I don't know. It's, again, to me, a place where I don't mind visiting, but I can't see myself living there, at least right now. So I looked in Atlanta, but I didn't take it too seriously. Houston was in the running. Like, Houston was like top tier. Like, my research was checking out. I had some friends there. But where Houston fell off the map is when I talked to a realtor. Girl. So, you know, you can work with a realtor to get an apartment. And typically, realtors don't charge you to get an apartment. They get paid referral fees from the building. So I talked to a realtor, and she was really great, really sweet. But she, you know, when she was talking to me about where I wanted to be in terms of neighborhood, I said, I don't know the city at all, but I want to be somewhere that's safe and that's walkable. Like, I want to be able to walk to get a sandwich or a coffee or something without having to get in my car. I am going to have a car, but I miss walkable neighborhoods. I don't want to be somewhere where the car is the only option. And she was like, yeah, like, well, there are so many walkable areas that are really great. Just make sure that you're not out after dark at all by yourself, no matter where you are. And I was like, so that was interesting. And then she started sending me these rental options, and I talked to her about what I wanted. I said preferably high rise, preferably, but it doesn't have to be, as long as it, you know, 2-bedroom, you know, in-unit washer, dryer, stainless steel appliances, plenty of cabinet space, large bathroom, and a balcony. Those were my non-negotiables, right? So she sends me all of these places that I kind of came across on Google as well. Very pricey, as you would expect for some kind of luxury apartment with what I named. But the reviews. There is this one building in their downtown area that's like one of the tall ones. Elevators not working. They got mice. They got bugs. Cars get broken into. Some of the buildings don't provide parking, and the ones that do, your car get broken into. You'll come outside to your car sitting on bricks. Like, for all that, I could have went back to the west side of Chicago for that. Like, girl, no. So Houston was coming up short. So then we get to Dallas, and Dallas was the one that I wasn't taking as seriously, but I was still watching content. It just so happened, I didn't even mention Dallas to my life coach, but I told her I was interested in Houston. And she said, well, I know somebody who moved from Wisconsin to Dallas, and she's doing so good. She's a coach as well, but she also does music and acting and things, and she's always, you know, at celebrity get-togethers, and her career took off, and she's stepped more into her true authentic self while down there. And So she's like, I just want you to, like, I'll connect y'all and you can talk with her. So we connected on Instagram and we got on a Zoom call and just chatted, and like her story of moving and all of that really aligned with mine. She was really helpful, gave me all this advice, and she was really pushing Houston. She's like, I know you're looking at Dallas, at Houston. She was really pushing Dallas. Like, I know you're looking at Houston, but consider Dallas. So I said, okay. And I started doing some research. And it was just like, I made a checklist in the Notion app of like all of the things I wanted in a city, what I wanted in a neighborhood, what I wanted in an apartment. And it was just checking all of the boxes. Not to mention, I have a sister that lives here. So I'm an only child with my mom, but my dad has other children. So I have like, I guess it's like siblings. I just call them my siblings, whatever. So my sister, my younger sister, had moved here, and she has a baby, which is my niece. So that was also like great because I would have family here, which I haven't lived in the city with my family in over a decade. And I have a lot of friends here, like people that I've met at conferences and on social media and coaching programs, people who do similar things, who can just understand the life. So that's what kind of sold Houston. So I keep saying Houston. That's what really sold Dallas. So I started looking at places and found where I live now, decided to pull the trigger on the application. And if you've ever tried to apply for an apartment self-employed, baby, you know the paperwork that you need. So I was just a little worried that they were going to be like, girl, bye. But I got approved. So I am here. I'm so excited. So that was it. So then the other thing is why I moved so fast. So the building I live in is new. My unit's never been lived in, and my building was kind of just like, okay, how soon can you get here? Like, if it was up to them, I would have been here in like 2 weeks of getting approved. But I was like, well, if I can come as soon as possible, then I will come at the end of August, right after my birthday. I think I said for like 8/31 or 9/1 or something like that. And then they had a promotion where you get 2 months rent free as well. So that was great. So I was like, you know what? This will be my birthday gift to myself. I can go ahead, move. I know it's going to be an investment, but this will be a great like way to start the next chapter of my life. So when once I confirmed the yes with them, that like they approved me and I filled out all the paperwork, I literally had 28 days to move, 28 days to get movers, get everything taken care of, get everything cut off in Pittsburgh, everything cut on here. And I will say, if you can give yourself more than 27 days, please do so, because by the end, your girl was tired, stressed, and a little burned out. Not to mention, I'm very like, the Virgo in me is very like OCD about like mess and things like that. So I needed to be like unpacked as soon as possible, settled in as soon as possible. Like living amongst boxes was like making me anxious. So it was just like a lot of work. So just a couple of pointers around relocating that I wanted to offer. One, ask for a Zoom tour. Like if you're moving to a new city and you can't get there to see it, don't just do the self-guided tour through the site. Don't just do the video tour. Ask for a Zoom tour. And my building is really good about literally walking you around. They will have a phone and they will walk you around the unit. They'll walk you around all of the amenities. Do that. Read the reviews on Google and apartments.com for your unit. Research the neighborhood, especially if you're moving with kids and stuff like that. Like, so I don't have kids, I'm not married, so I didn't have to think about school districts and all of that stuff. But research the area. Again, to me, I have a car, but I don't like driving far unless I have to. Like, I want to just be like, okay, I'm taking a drive when I'm trying to be Dora the Explorer, but like, I don't want to have to drive far to get to a mall or get to a restaurant. So I wanted to live in an area that was popping. So literally, there's Walmart 4 minutes away, Whole Foods 4 minutes away, AMC 5 minutes away, a bunch of restaurants, within 5 to 8 minutes drive. Like, the mall is like literally right there, and another one is 15 minutes away. So that was really important to me for this season of my life. So thinking about what's important to you and make sure that the area that you move to is worth it. And if you don't have a car, make sure that wherever you're moving to has ample public transportation. Again, with my office space. So my office space lease was transferable because I leased my office with a global brand. So they're everywhere. So even here, they have a lot of locations. But again, I didn't want to have to worry about a commute. So I picked one that's 8 minutes from the office, Parking is a reasonable rate. So that's also really convenient and helpful to me. So making sure that you're thinking about your job or your office or whatever it is you do for a living, that you're factoring in that, especially here, because if you're commuting here, like here, tolls is a big thing in Texas, especially in Dallas. Like tolls is like a thing. Like everybody has a toll tag. That's like a thing. And I've ordered one just to have it, but I have not been inconvenienced at all while I'm waiting for it to come in the mail by not having it, because I'm not really commuting. I can get everywhere I want to get to in under 10 to 15 minutes on the side streets, on the service road. So you have to factor in the cost of the commute when thinking about where you're living, because if you live far out to save on rent, you might be making that up in toll fees, Uber fees, bus fees, parking fees, whatever. So just throwing that out there. So those are some things to consider when moving. And of course, just planning for all of the fees, right? The paying for movers, the deposits, cutting on your internet, cutting on your gas, hiring people to put your furniture together and mount your TVs if needed. What other fees? Fees for getting a new driver's license, getting your car registered, all of that stuff is just things you want to factor into your budget. Personally, I stayed organized with a Google spreadsheet where I basically had a bunch of tabs. One was documenting my budget, one was documenting all of my stuff I was packing, my inventory, and one was like a master to-do list of all of the things I needed to do, cut off, turn on, whatever, transfer, as I prepared to move. So that was, those are just some of the things that I think will be helpful for people who are relocating. If you have any questions, let me know down below, because I did vlog a lot of it. I'm not sure about posting it though, because a lot of the vlogs were me in a car going to and from different places, getting stuff for the move and just fussing about it. If you're interested though in like certain and me answering certain questions about how to relocate, how to move, how Dallas is, like, please comment them down below. I'm happy to make more videos on this. At the end of the day, I am so happy I moved. I don't regret a thing. I love this city so far. I won't lie and say I've explored a ton just yet, but from what I have seen, what I have done, and even just my area, starting to build a routine, which is really important to me, has been really, really fruitful. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. Like this video, comment below, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.